Welcome back to Microtopia. My name is Nilaus and we are back here with our glorious little setup here. What I've done since the end of last episode is just finishing up some of the things that we were doing, like making beacons all the way down, and oh my god, do I have a lot of minions running around here. That is actually kind of crazy. We probably shouldn't be doing it that quick because we're up to 180 and I certainly don't need 180 now. You can see how many are just idling on the main line. But hey, that's just good, and we can make it even better because today we're going to be working on the iron ants, and what we're also going to do is we're going to be connecting the different islands. We'll make a bridge here. We'll make a bridge between these two islands, and then we can kind of get going on this. I mean, these ones flying back and forth, they're just not working. Making a bridge here, yeah, sure, it kind of works, but bridges are first of all very expensive. This is why we're starting to ship some concrete over. But they are also one way. So if we want to make a bridge, we actually want to make it here, because then I can just have the flying going from here to here, and then that should be fine. So start off with a bridge, and then we'll be getting into some other things. So that one, what does it need? Okay, so we do need a little bit more. We need one more of these wires. Oh, that's actually really frustrating to get that. Anyway, once we have that, we can start transitioning this over to the other island, but that's going to take a little bit of time. So what I also want to do over on this island is I want to actually get started on making some iron and screws. The reason why is because we have a lot of iron, and the second one is because I actually want this to work a lot better. Now it's working quite well right now, but it might not be. I might want this to actually be able to export it a little bit back. For that we need to use the throwers, and throwers require quite a lot of stone. And where are they? Throwers, yeah, that's not stone. A lot of iron. That's 25 iron we need. So let's build a little extra iron output here. We'll make it a combined one. So the stuff we want to build up here is we want to build a storage of iron, and then we want to make the iron smelters. 1, 2, oops, 2 and 3. Then with the last smelter here, we'll actually need to go over to another one for glass, but we don't have that yet. So we'll get it once we get this. This is just illustrating why this is so important. And we'll build kind of a normal pattern here. And then from here, we're kind of getting used to these kind of things, right? And go up and go over, oops, this one. And then we can actually do this. When we're not building on a grid, it looks awful. It does indeed. But then that's fine. What we're also going to do is we're simply going to take a output here. There is no consideration about how many. We need 3. Actually, we might need 4. And then the only thing we're missing is we need that one. No, we don't. We need a new one. We need to make a new location here. That'll be glory. Now this little extra iron build is complete. We need quite a lot extra. Also, we upgraded so we get more glass. We're getting a nice build out here. We're getting a nice glass out here. We go back to the other location. We actually have our finished little bridge. That is amazing. And then I don't want to send any more over here. So there we go. We still have quite a bit of extra, but that doesn't matter. It's fine. So now that we can actually move things from this location, or from this location over here, so that we can actually just get these a little bit closer. And the only reason why I didn't do it before was because then I would also have to have the incubators here. They would be here and they would be stuck because it's actually 2 different islands. So I had to wait until I could actually move my incubators over here. And that means we can just build the same thing in a slightly different build here. Now we have a much smaller flight path here, and that means we can get the stuff here. The stuff we have here, get that back much faster. Oof, the glass is really a problem. And we get our first little ant coming in. That might actually mean that we are going to get these a little bit too quickly. But no, 30 seems fine. Okay, these are moving around, and I'm not actually sending anything over to that island at this point. We'll get there. Alright, so we've now stabilized a little bit. We're no longer making glass or making light bulbs on the main island. We're making it on the other island because it's more compact to transport it over than to transport the glass over. So we can now go in here and we can now finally do the iron worker ant. Other researches we can do down here is we can work towards the factory. We can we cannot somehow not get the LED. Why not? Weird. 150 ants. Okay. That's weird. I guess we have to do this first. Anyway, we are completing this one. Yay! The colony has advanced enough to start building giants, whatever. These young queens will mate during the nuptial flight and will fly out to start new colonies. That's really interesting because that's what we want to do in the next episode. That will be the quest to make a new queen coming in. What we're going to do here is now we're going to be transitioning from using these two here, combining, and then making them actually into plants. That is super, I don't know, I wouldn't say, well, it is inefficient because it'll take two small ones into one big one. So if we just have enough iron mining, we might have that. Let's see. There. Still good? Yeah. Then, okay, yeah, this is the didn't I say that I felt that there were too much of this kind of thing where there's just have to sort of mine these and figure out how to get absolute maximum amounts out of these. And yeah, anyway, so this is continue to mine and just filling this one up, which will also support that one. That's excellent. But we now need to stop this one. So let's actually do that. What if I just delete it now? Whoop. Okay, you're fine there, and you just go back on this loop. Sweet. So what we need to do now is we need to change it to an assembler instead. That is going to be, let's see, I'm going to build that here. But we also need to expand our grid because there is no way that we are going to be having sufficient inputs here. There we go. All of these, that kind of sucks because they're probably going to die, but it is what it is. There. And then, well, I can always pause it and then get it as close over here as possible. That's as close. No, why did it flip? There. And I'm actually going to build one more immediately because I know I'm going to need it. And it actually got built. And here. Right. That goes in. This goes in. And our... Hey, this actually should be a old path. There. Get in there. And these ones will now make iron workers. Assemble iron worker. Assemble iron worker. That's going to be a little bit of a challenge because that's going to be more iron being consumed in each of them. Yep, that is a problem. So we need to focus a little bit more on iron. That means this one also has to be updated. But let's just start seeing that it actually works. They go in here. Yes. And we get the iron workers. The iron workers are slightly different from normal workers. What that means is that we are all of our things here, for example this one, which is saying filter by worker, will have to be changed at some point to filter to iron worker. Likewise down here, for this one, this will combine into inventor, will also be combining into another kind of inventor. So that's another little headache we have there. But that's only in 10 minutes when things run out. This one is always running out because we're just not getting enough light bulbs in here. That is unfortunate. These take forever to build, but they are going to be way more. So we can easily get up to our 200 population now. The question is just, can we keep feeding it? So we're going to be updating, getting more iron here. So let's see if we can build some kind of design that is more compact than this. More compact, much better. All right, so we can also obviously see that this is running out easily. But now we built 8, and what I'm basically doing is I'm splitting into 2 different ones, and then I'm splitting each into 4. It works. So as usual, we want something with multiples of 2 or 4 or 8 or something. It also looks like we are having issues with our energy now, which is not surprising. Yeah, we are actually, yeah, it's the light bulbs, it's fine, that's what you expect, but energy is definitely keep getting us into trouble here. So I think that what we need to do now is actually overhaul this entire thing, and the way we want to overhaul it is requiring some of this, which is actually not much we have here, and we also need some iron, so that's also a problem. We're also really not converting these fast enough, so we're probably going to lose a lot of these. I think that's because we're now really just, if we can feed this is producing as fast as it possibly can. And we probably need some kind of overhaul here. So this needs to be overhauled so we can feed it faster, but I don't want to do that now. I want to get a little bit more iron production. We got that, and we got a little bit more screw production as well. We're still going to be really short on these iron ones here, and I don't think there's any way we can keep up. Well, I mean, build more, but don't really have room for more, and I think we'll just let it flow. I hope that it will stabilize at some point. Maybe it'll not stabilize at 200, but if it stabilizes around 180, that's also fine for us. What we then want to do is we want to overhaul this. So let me start by sort of illustrating the issue here. You can see the issue is that they're simply queuing up to unload. So we need a faster way to unload, and something that works. And what I'm thinking is that if we use the slingers, we can make like loops out, and then at the extreme end of the loop we'll bounce it back so that they can both go on the way out and on the way back. Yeah, that did not make any sense. I think it's better to just try to build it. So this is kind of the first part. This is just making big loops, but it's not going to solve anything by itself, because it's going to solve a little bit, but they will all now go into the same bottleneck. So what I need to do is I need these slingers. And I need to sort of put them out here as far away as possible, but not killing any of this. So, for example, here. Then I will... Oh no. Yeah. That's the problem with these slingers. It's going to take forever to get this, but the idea is good enough, right? I'm going to need these slingers for everything, right? That's going to be here, and I need a slinger up on this line here. Maybe that's even too far away. But at the end of each loop, I'll have a slinger. Maybe not even this one, because it only actually goes up to these few. And up here is also going to be interesting, because that's definitely too far away. So this is now the complete build. It looks pretty good. This is a little bit overreaching, but this is about as much as we can get. So hopefully, with 30 drones running around here, bouncing off into catapults, we can be able to maintain it. Right now, it doesn't look like we maintain it. But what has happened in the meantime is that we've lost a lot of... we've used all of our screws, so our miner here was unable to work. We've also had to change all these to assemble drone alternates, so we use iron workers here, and so on and so forth. This is almost done, right? This is like 24 here and 8 here, and then we're done with this location. Then it has to be transitioned into a mining location. So what is the next? Next is actually building a path over here, because there are actually a lot of these nice little patches here with the good plants. So we want to set up a build over here that is harvesting the plants. In order to do that, we want a bridge so we can walk them over. We will basically be taking some fresh of these ones, and then we'll just send them over on a bridge. Well, let's build the bridge, because it's not going to happen. Let's build it from here to here. This is like the shortest path, and it just had... I can build it here, but then they can't get out because they can't walk on this path. But so we have to go to that location. How expensive is it? Doesn't matter. I thought it was 140 or something. So what we need to do from here is this is going to get over here in this area, and we need to make some kind of a build. And I think I'll do somewhat the same thing as the second one, where we are going to use like some pathing here. Like these are all having... Oh really? Can I not harvest this? I can. Okay. And then we just have to go into these, this, and maybe even over to these. They're really slow. So go back to here, and actually I want a second loop as well. So we'll make a second loop. I think we'll have 2 loops, and then they go back. And what we also need to do then is make sure that we have a location where they can build, where I can build a assembler. Because I'll need to use some of these light bulbs into, into what's it called? Repurposing them, I guess, or there, like that. We'll do it like this, so we don't kill any of that. So we re-light bulb them. They'll be running with the green light bulbs, and then we'll be getting that. So that makes sense, I think. There. That is not a great pathing. Anyway, so this will actually be the design of it. It's basically just setting it out here if they're old, be replenished, and go back in. So that should be self-sufficient. This one will then be here, and that will be placing a dispenser over on this side so that we can get it back. Now this needs to be changed into whatever we need. And then what we need is, we need 10 plus 10 plus 20. So let's start moving those over by getting... Oh, that was the end of the Nuptial flight. So what we can see is we have not lost any pod workers or pod worker 2. We have somehow lost a lot of the old one, those ones. It happens. We lost a lot of iron workers. That's probably before they could actually be repurposed into something. So yeah, so we want to try to minimize the amounts we lose. Oh, yeah, I know why. You can't lose the pod workers because they convert into another pod worker, the empty pod worker first. Right, so we need to get from our very small location here, that one, and then I'm going to redirect a few of these here, here, that one, and I can see that we're also building another one as well, another iron ant flyer worker here, so we're going to send you out here as well. There. So these two will go in and they'll be making sure that they get the fabric over, which we'll build, and then they'll be, after the fabric, they'll get some screws, they'll get some iron plates. Once all of those are done, then we can actually set in a path from here. That's going to be tricky to figure out how to sneak through this area. Okay, we're sneaking. We're sneaking. It doesn't really matter where they go in, but since they just have to go in once. There, that means we can now also send them over, but we're not going to send them over until we can actually replenish them. While we're working for that to complete, let's do another little side project. And this is actually one of the things that I think is I'm going to be very clear. I think this is a mistake that they've done in the design. If you look at the recycler, first we look at the recycler here. You can see you can get the recycler right after you file the old ones. So you got the old ones and you go like, yay, what are we going to do with the old ones? We're going to send them into a recycler. Of course we are. And then you want to build your recycler, and then you realize that it requires diodes. Diodes, oh, right. Go back on the tech tree, go up this path, go up this path, go up to the facility, and then go up here and get the diode. That's not great. Like, you shouldn't have things this way, this in a tech tree that requires this in a tech tree. Because you're thinking you can do this, but you can't. But now we finally can, but it requires us to actually start by making a facility, which we can now do, I think. We can do that. And let's build that here. And let's make it here. Well, almost. So the copper needs to come in. If the copper is coming in, the iron is coming in, that will be done. So what this does is I will need to set up a new build for this that will be feeding all this. Okay, the copper is somehow not coming in. That's kind of weird, isn't it? Shouldn't we get copper from this one? That's 110 copper, so get on with it. We'll just force some copper in for no reason. There we go. Forcing a little bit of copper inbound as well. And we want to see this one complete. So once this one completes, we can take a look at it. Well, actually, we are going to be diodes do we see what they were made of? No. One-way gate with an electrical circuit. Okay, but the thing is with the facility is that it requires two things. Inbound, so that means we need to get some kind of way to get two inbounds here, and once they're built in here, then they will get stuck. So it is kind of important. Let's see, we also need a storage, and I deliberately don't want a big storage here. So could I do something like a split here? You're gonna be splitting from this one into here and into here, and then these will go in here and here and here. I guess that's it. The only problem with this is that it is not easy to get my get the old ones out after the storage, but before. So I have to go from right there, get it back out, and then inbound. What do we want inbound? Doesn't really matter. We just need a single inbound, which comes in here. Good. Whoops. One inbound. It picks up from one, and then it picks up from the other. We don't know what those are yet, but we'll find out soon enough. So this is now built, and we have a couple of things we can make. We can make resin out of fabric and concrete. That's weird. Or we can make diodes out of wire and screws. We're going to do the wires and screws. So this one will be here, and this one will be up for the screws. Good. So now that should be built. We should see one of each going in, There. And then it just smashes together, makes diode, and then we need 10 of those before we can do a recycler. So that's the next little thing. We also need to have this actually as a return output here. That one. And you're going to be transitioning it over here, because this is what we're going to be bringing in. We're going to bring in those green ones, so that should be fine. We're now setting the next one, just getting the screws done, and we're just waiting until we get all of this done. It needs a little bit of babysitting. And here we are, this is finally done, and we can now set this up to be a pod worker 3, and I actually don't want to be doing this anymore. You're just going to be a question mark. Actually, that doesn't make sense. I'm just going to be moving you, basically rotating it the other way, or there. Right, so now what I need to do is I need to get from here, actually just a few of those. One, and how many do I want? Like 6 maybe, I think. I think I'll just get those, send those over manually, because as soon as they get on this track, then they're going to be fine. And I don't need to transport anything back and... Well, I do need to transport this back and forth, unless I start using that bridge. But let's get that a little bit out of the way first. There we go. We're just getting the freshest one over here. So once they are super fresh, they will be going over here. They will go into this one when they become old pod workers, and then they go in and wait there. So this is good. We get 2 of those. I'm a little bit in doubt whether I should always have these working here. I'm kind of thinking maybe I should just say something like take a counter gate here, and then maybe just say, okay, that's counter gate is on 1, so it's okay. Then I need to get you in somewhere in here. There we go. So that there's always trying to send 1 out here, so there's always 1. Of course, we'll have this back and forth, but that works. That was actually a new one, wasn't it? It was. You should be sent into that location. Great. And we get this. Ah, man, iron is still not working. But that's there's a good reason why the iron is not working. And there we go. That's 3. That's 4. The iron is not working because we are now also... Oh, look at that. We'll actually bounce it over from the backup. This is now set up to a mining production, which also means that we now need a lot of the small miners. And that's actually going to be a little bit of a challenge here, because those small miners, they tend to want to go in to become iron workers. They don't really want to go in and become the small miners here. Small diggers, even though we really want some small diggers. Oh, okay, we already have 1. Yeah, so we'll just sacrifice a few of the small ones. We don't really care. The small ones, they're not that useful. So we'll just send them in here. And did we get another one? Yes, that is another one. So you go over here, and that's number 5. And then we just need 1 more, and then you will see how that works over on the other side. Final thing for today. This one has been chugging along for a long time, so what we need to do is, or we want to do, is do that thing that we talked about, the recycler, and figure out where the hell are we going to build that, because we want them to actually go in when they're old, and this is probably the best place to send. Okay, see, this should not actually be an old cycle here, because this is a different kind of old. That will go into here, which also means that if we can, from down here, we can also just kind of look at the old ones, and then we'll send them up to here, and then we'll also take the old ones over here. That's also going to be a little bit tricky, which means that it has to go somehow down there. Yeah, I don't know what we're actually going to get out of it. So I guess we'll find out. I can't really squeeze it through here, can I? No, I can probably just squeeze it through somewhere else. There. Just to figure out what the hell this does when we get an old miner coming in. So we got the first old worker coming in, and let's see what we actually what this actually gives us. I have no idea. Oh no! Oh, you smashed it. Oops. And then okay. So I got some stuff. That looks like we just got scrap out of it. It's not super valuable, is it? It's screws that I need inbound, but you know, it actually is. It's something. So I just need this to be recycled or put into some have a little recycler here or worker here that sort of picks it up and gets it into a stockpile. There we go. This is now set up in a little bit more structured manner. So now we actually have a large stockpile that will just make scrap. I don't know. I guess we could expect to get scrap when we scrap something. So a recycler will turn things into scrap. I think it's good because this is going to be a problem at some point. So by building this, we can recycle things into scrap. And now I don't want to make any more today. So we have now got our base like really structured. These ones are working. They're just harvesting out here. They're really slow on harvesting, or that's because they're slow on replenishing this one. Well, that's actually quite fast. So we could set on more. And look at that. The first one is being recycled and upcycled into a tier 2. A pot worker tier 2. It's great. And another one is also getting old. There we go. And they are now, of course, they are old pretty much at the same time. And these will now last for how long time do they last? They last for 7.5 minutes and they're speed 14. And the other ones are speed 12 and they are not as fast. Cool. So we have done all we can. What we're going to do next time is start working on getting a queen, but our base is much more well functioning right now. And thank you very much for watching, and then they'll see in the next episode as we get a queen. Thank you for watching. Until next time, take care and stay effective.